Creole Heartbeat. This Friday, August 2, 2024 from 11 a.m. on the big station Q95 FM. Creole Heartbeat. Connecting Dominica to its history. Creole Heartbeat. A front row seat into the culture of Dominica. Africa, Africa, oh my God. Africa, Africa, everybody.
Yes, that. Takaimalan. Prince Maddox. Prince Maddox. Prince Maddox. Prince Maddox. Pa pou an rete ba moun plen la yon manj a kite la vi. Apresye sa yo ka fe kon yo a pa mi nou jodi. La te mouve vale pie non nou ka konsipe moun evi. Pour nous connaître, pour nous fait pour nous tout ça bénéfice. For only wonders you done for us all, spreading the culture all over the world. For only good thing that you done for God, that's what it is. We continue. We continue, brother.
Pleasure, good morning, Dominique. Good morning, it's Karen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Tout le monde à toute la Dominique et aux Antilles. C'est un grand plaisir pour nous là, messieurs, mesdames, avec nous. C'est un belle fraternité matin. Et puis nous là, messieurs, donc allez bienvenue sur Creole, Heartbeat Paul sur Creole. C'est là nous avons partagé information de culture. C'est un bon temps, messieurs, mesdames, l'application fili à Villa, mais nous là pour notre vendredi. And we have a very special guest with us this morning. As a matter of fact, he's an employee at Q95 FM, and we really want to big him up because this is a 20-year-old Kalinago warrior. He's a climate activist, a certified journalist, public relations consultant with a strong passion for climate change and youth development and empowerment. And it is very important that we really, expose the work that the youth have been doing in Dominica, especially when they are, very special. To me, I have really found this young Kalinago warrior extremely, extremely special. And he has been doing wonderful work. Just 20 years. I mean, this is, to my mind, a Kalinago genius. I want to once again say good morning to Ferguson Valmont. Good morning to you, my brother.
Morning, Wadix.
And how are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
I still have a new year cut.
Yeah, I had to be sharp for the day.
Yeah, I had to be sharp for the day. We have been promoting this particular hour for the entire week. And, it's no secret that you work here. By the way, how are things here at the Superstation? We know that you are a journalist, a news anchor. And how are things at the big station, Q95 FM?
Pretty good. It's been a great and exhilarating experience so far for me, yes.
And how long have you been at the Superstation?
2 years.
2 years. And what the experience has been marvelous.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, space, the opportunity, not for just personal growth, but personal growth as well has been one that I really, really continue to highlight working here.
Absolutely. And, your journey has been impressive, multifaceted. And can you share the pivotal moment that actually significantly shaped your career and passion for environmental advocacy? We know that's an extremely difficult topic, talking about the environment, but what actually shaped your advocacy for that particular career?
Yes, so it actually started, my passion started with youth development. I really, at high school at the age of, 15 actually, it started at the age of 15 when I decided that I want to really promote to really address the issue of lack of youth involvement in community development. So that was my main area, really looking at ways in which we can get young people more involved in building or developing the community. And as years goes on, then after I decided that, hey, we really have an issue really affecting a lot of young persons and also persons in the Kalinago territory. And I realized, hey, this is actually climate change. And I really grew an interest in the United Nations and the Sustainable Development Goals. And I was like, okay, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. I want to advocate. I want to highlight the issues that we as indigenous peoples here in Dominica continue to face from the impacts of the climate crisis. And that's where it continued to move on up to this point.
And how did the participation in Global Youth Climate Summit influence your perspective on global climate issues, sustainability, that sort of thing? How you know that experience
Yeah.
really shaped you and molded you?
Well, I think I have considered myself someone who's always been really, really quiet. I mean, if you speak to a lot of persons from my primary school and high school days, they'll say like I've always been someone who's been in the background in the corner, very, very quiet. But at a certain time, I realized that as young persons, we continue to embrace the whole idea of leadership or building our leadership skills per se. This actually helps. So moving forward, I really, continue to participate, continue to apply to a lot of opportunities. And attending these conferences not only allowed me to really continue on the foundation that which is representing our Kalinago people, but also help build my confidence as a young person. I'm able to speak more freely. I am able to really speak with confidence. I am able to highlight issues. I mean, the entire area of critical thinking really comes to play as you attend these conferences. So far, I've been to one last year. I was at
Mhm,
in Dubai for the 20th conference of parties as part of the 100 that was selected out of 11,000 applications.
mhm.
So this has been a great experience. During that time, I also got the opportunity to really give a speech at a high level activity. I mean, as the first young persons to give a speech at that event. And I really, really touched on the importance of recognizing indigenous people's rights to protecting their ancestral lands, etc., and their involvement in decision-making processes. So it's been just attending all these conferences. It's been one that I've been really exposed to a lot of different cultures, a lot of persons from different backgrounds. Of course, that really continued to shape or build upon what I am right now.
Absolutely. The Caribbean Development Bank's Future Leaders Network.
Yeah.
You are part of that. Tell us some of the, or at least particular one challenge that you have faced as your role as a member and how you overcame it.
Yes. So it was last year I applied to become a member of the Caribbean Development Bank Future Leaders Network. And luckily I was selected as one of the persons representing Dominica on that
Give
network.
us a little information about that particular bank and the leadership role.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the Caribbean Development Bank created the Future Leaders Network that comprised of young persons from Antigua all the way to Suriname.
Wow.
And in that, we have Jamaica, we have Grenada, all the other Caribbean countries included in that. And what we do is assist the bank, almost serve in an advisory capacity, whereas we assist the bank in really looking at programs in that aim towards young people and really looking at ways in which they can, tailor their initiatives towards meeting the needs of young persons, as well as we also work on separate projects, as well as addressing issues. And one of our main issues that we have identified thus far would be financial empowerment of young persons. And we were really looking at the entrepreneurial landscape. How can we empower not just within our own countries, but within each country in the Caribbean region? So it's been really challenging, really focused, getting down to how can we really look at that particular issue. But we're making great progress so far.
You have been, in several leadership positions
Yeah.
in your tender 20-year-old life. I mean, several leadership roles, including the vice presidency of the Eastern District Youth Council. Tell us about that particular role and tell us about your particular involvement in that particular leadership role as a vice president of the Eastern District Youth Council, and then we go to a few other entities,
Mhm.
organizations that you have been in.
Yes. So I've been so involved in so many things that the years it's just had to really put the years to when I was elected. But yeah, it's been a great opportunity. I've been able to work with our youth officers on the Eastern District, and of course Miss Duran, of course, Miss Lilia Duran,
Lilia. Mhm.
and we have Miss Nikki Daru as well, and a lot of other young
By the
persons
way,
from.
she told me to give you a special big up.
Yeah, she's on the line right
That's
now.
a son. That's a son.
Yeah, so these persons, I mean, when we speak about our youth officers embracing or providing opportunities to really assist young persons in developing their personal various skills, leadership skills, for example, we speak about persons like Miss Duran and Miss Darus. So, of course, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't really have gotten the opportunity to be where I am right now in terms of continuing my advocacy for youth empowerment as well as climate change. So, also, the confidence of the young persons in the Eastern District Youth Council to elect me to that position was one I really, really embraced. It continued to form the foundation to which I continue the work that I continue to do.
So she's like a role model for you.
Definitely. I mean, I see everyone as someone who contributes to the development of my personal growth. But Miss Duran has been there from day one. No matter how old I am, she's always, checking on and providing me with opportunities to really, embrace that opportunity. If you see that opportunity, to grab it. So persons like these, they continue to really push me to places that I have never or really haven't seen myself being at.
I mean, at such a tender age, just 20. I
Yeah.
mean, man, I'm so impressed at 20 years. Most of the youth in Dominica possibly look for CO, look for several other areas of
Uh-huh.
entertainment. But you are so meticulous. You're so career driven. You're also your membership in the UNESCO Youth Peace and Security
Mhm.
Group. Tell us a little about that.
So I was also from a consultation that was hosted to really look at building a roadmap focused on the youth peace and security agenda that was also really developed by the United Nations Security Council as well, with a focus on young persons. So from that consultation, there was a call that young persons from the consultation can be part of the youth peace, UNESCO's youth peace and security support group. And I applied and I got selected. So I was one of the first persons to get selected to that group. So what we did was we really looked at creating a roadmap in which we can really incorporate the youth peace and security agenda, the various resolutions, and how can we build a peaceful society. So from that cohort, it really allowed me to really, develop or strengthen in the area of what is really understanding what is youth, what role does young persons play in building a peaceful society. So of course this has significantly helped me. It's been 1 year. I served for 1 year and I continue to serve as a almost as an advisor for the rest of the cohorts that they continue to really select for that particular group.
How do you get time? How do you find time? How do you balance between those responsibilities and your youth, you're a young
Yeah.
person? How do you get time? How do you find time? What do you do for entertainment?
A lot of people ask me that question when I enter these various spaces. They was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "I'm 20." Well, first I was 19, and I'll be like 19, and I'm in a room with young persons who are all in their 25s, and they have their PhDs and masters. And for me, they would be like, "So why aren't you like a normal young person who like to, like you said, who like to party or who like to be?" Well, for me personally, from day one, I am really someone. I mean, growing up in a situation different from others has really motivated me to really, try to make something better for yourself and for your family. And my motivation has always been that I have always constantly ensured that I should be in the books educating myself, I should be educating other persons. And to me, that question of, someone recently asked me this question and I really took some time to reflect on that question. They were like, you need to get some rest, you need to relax. And then they asked me, what does success means to you? And to me, it's like, success to me is a constant journey. There's no, finish line as to, hey, I'm successful. It's constant. So for me, I'm constantly looking for that feeling that, hey, I have accomplished enough and I need to really embrace that. But for me right now, I am 20 years old. I cannot relax. We have a future to create. We have dreams to accomplish. We have our families to really uplift and create a better future for. And for me, that is just what I'm going forward.
You work with the Global Youth Parliament and other organizations which involve international collaboration. How are you managed to bridge cultural and regional differences in these global forums?
Yeah. So, as an indigenous youth, of course, I think this is the main highlight that a lot of these organizations look at when I submit applications for certain opportunities. That, hey, you're indigenous, and of course, being indigenous is their way of addressing or really completing diversity within their spaces. And for me, it's like really embracing other cultures, because not only do I embrace being Kalinago or indigenous, I also embrace having the African side. So when I go to a lot of these conferences, I meet a lot of persons from indigenous countries, from Asia and Bangladesh and India, etc. But I also meet persons from Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania, and all these places. And really, I feel so comfortable being around them. And I believe that being exposed to these cultures have also allowed me to adapt to various persons, really understand their culture, and really say, this is what they like to do, and this is what you need to do to make them feel comfortable. And to me, I enjoy doing. I enjoy interacting and experiencing various cultures as I attend these spaces.
And as a Kalinago
Yeah.
youth, how important it is when you go out there and you represent the indigenous people out of Dominica. How do you market yourself? How do you actually interact? How do you sell yourself out there to the other indigenous people and
Mhm.
other cultures that you meet?
Yes. So one thing about me, when I travel, I have a waiku in my bag. I have my Kalinago outfit. First item in my traveling bag would be my Kalinago outfit, along with my chain and my beads. And attending these conferences, you see a lot of persons wearing their jacket and their tie. But for me, it's wearing my Kalinago outfit, and that is something I really embrace. And when they said, "Where are you from?" I'd be like, "Dominica." They said, "Dominica, I've never heard of Dominica." I'm like, yes, we're in the Caribbean region. And one thing that really gets a lot of persons is that when I say that we are, well, Kalinago people are the last surviving pre-colonial tribe in the West Indies, as well as Dominica is considered the nature isle. And of course, we have this world's first sperm whale reserve. So these are the areas you kind of really push towards person, as well as our ability to become the world's first climate resilient country. So these various factors really allowed me to really sell Dominique and sell my culture. And a lot of them would be like, this is where, because I've met three persons that have said I'm from Dominique, and they were like, this is my next vacation. This is where I'm coming to Dominique, and we need to connect. I have had persons from Italy coming into Dominica because of something I said about Dominica last year, and a lot of them have already booked their tickets to be in Dominica already. I'm really excited for it.
Do you actually get feedbacks as to some of your recommendations? Do people, when they come and you invite them, their observations of the Kalinago territory and actually give you reports, their feedbacks on the Kalinago territory, the way the people live? Do they make recommendations as to the life of the people in the Kalinago territory?
Definitely. And to really, it was last month, this journalist and news reporter from Italy came to Dominica, and she wanted to really understand the Kalina culture, and of course, understand my work in the climate space and youth empowerment space. And we had a good discussion. We sat on the grass and we spoke about the Kalinago culture, etc., youth engagement, involvement. And she also met with Mr. and Mrs. Langley, of course. These are my contact points. They really spoke to her more of the culture, understanding the culture, and she was really impressed that we have a lot going on in Kalnago territory, of course. And then she really touched on really how can we engage. She met a lot of persons from my community and really had a discussion as to how can we empower women, how can we empower young persons. So of course, this of course really allowed persons within the community to really reflect on that question when she's gone and look at ways in which. So it's all building critical thinking skills, finding issues, also developing solutions to these issues. And this is what we want to develop within our people, critical thinkers.
Absolutely. You just Shana will be asking you your opinion of your colleague in a while. But we just want to remind you that we are live on the big station. We are also live on our Facebook page. So you can actually, we'll give you an opportunity to call in sometime later because we want to really allow you to participate in this special program. 20-year-old climate activist Phillison Valmont. He's an employee here at the big station Q95 FM. He's a certified journalist. He's also a public relations consultant with a strong passion for climate change and youth development and empowerment. And even thinking of youth development and empowerment, you have had an extensive experience
Yeah.
with youth leadership and environmental advocacy. If you would have to, advise some of your young people, some of your peers, what advice would you give to them?
I am not going to stress enough the need to take risk. We have a lot of persons out there that may be a bit scared about entering these spaces and talking about these issues because scared, of course, number one, that you maybe don't have enough knowledge to really speak on these issues. But for me, I believe that first it starts with taking risk. That's so one. You need to really go out there, really stop, really, like I always said or really say to someone, when I give you lemons and I tell you make lemonade, don't come and think about what type of fertilizer was used for the tree, etc. So this is what I'm talking about. You need to take risk and really just step out there, embrace a platform and advocate because you can go places with these platforms and Wadix. I've been to through places. I got my passport last year, and when I went to the airport, the immigration officer was like, "You're just 20, and your passport is almost done." And so these are example, and not only get the opportunity to go out there, you also get the opportunity to voice your opinions in rooms that you have never thought you would enter. I would have never thought me meeting the prince of the United Arab Emirates. I've never imagined myself meeting a high level delegate from the European Union in a particular bilateral room. I've never imagined myself meeting all these influential persons that who actually play part in really creating policies and legislatives, I mean international legislations. So of course, understand these things can't, it's not about really, well, we can draw it to sports because you see a lot of people saying don't get into sports don't bring you anywhere, but sports do actually take. So youth advocacy take you places you've never been. My first international trip actually was in Italy, and a lot of person was like, you were 19 and you flew all by yourself all the way to Italy and you got back. And to me, these are experiences you want to get. You want to meet other persons who really share the same knowledge. If you really learn from a lot of people, and to me, I'm still on my learning process, and it's a journey that I fully embrace and appreciate it every minute.
In terms of making or advising young people to make a difference
Yeah.
in the various communities, because they are positive youth. They are
Of
youth
course,
that
yes.
don't only dwell on just the party, just because they are youth that want to make a difference
Mhm.
within their communities. What advice would you have for them?
So I keep on reflecting on a word when I started my youth advocacy journey, and I was trying to form a group to undertake projects. And this one individual, I'm gonna call his name, he was the then president of the National Youth Council, Mr. Barron, and he said that it don't really matter if you have a large group of persons. You can have 3 people and you can undertake a project or an initiative, of course, because these are the persons who are interested and willing to go the extra mile to get things done. So for me, formed little groups, the same friends you go out to party or go out to free up with or have fun, these are the same persons you can actually bring together and continue to like create projects to take. I'm not talking about big projects where you're going to build, let's say, a whole recycling factory. Just creating campaigns within your communities, or really teaching younger children within the communities the importance of recycling, the importance of not polluting or littering on. These are the various things that we need, because these small steps actually create huge momentums, huge effect. So it's almost like a ripple effect sort of vibes that we're going for.
Let's deal with where you have a major passion for climate change.
Mhm.
What role do you think indigenous communities, such as the Kalinago territory, can play in global climate action, and how are you advocating their inclusion in your international discussions?
Yes, thank you, Alex. This particular question, I get it everywhere I go. Every discussion, every virtual event that I attend, And I always say that words from the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres would be like indigenous peoples hold the key to addressing the climate crisis, or practices or harmony with nature, or ancestors' knowledge, or elders' knowledge, of course. These are the practices and keys that we need to address or really embrace sustainability and the protection of our environment. And having our voices in these conversations actually have other persons realizing the importance of really engaging marginalized and vulnerable communities, because we are the persons, well, we are the group of people most affected by climate change. And I'm talking about indigenous peoples. These persons are affected by climate change. And if you don't have their voices in the conversation, you cannot tailor policies or projects or funds that address their particular need. And to me, my voice in these discussions represents something important. A young person representing Kalinago people from Dominica, I not only have my voice in the discussion because of Kalinago, I have it because of small island developing states that continue to be affected by climate change. We had our first major hurricane in the beginning of the hurricane season. This is an indication that the climate crisis is real and continues to escalate at a rapid rate. So being involved in these discussions actually have me highlighting instances such as these and the importance to really put measures in place to assist us in building resilience against the climate
I
crisis.
mean, this is a sensational young 20-year-old warrior from the Kananago territory. His name is Federson Valmont, 20-year-old climate activist, certified journalist, also public relations consultant with a strong passion for climate change and youth development. You're ready, DJ Shan, to give us your impressions, and we will open the lines in a while. We have several more questions to ask him, and if we can possibly get some interaction, DJ Shan, from our, if you can give us some reaction from our Facebook page. We're also live on the big station, Q95 Facebook page and YouTube channel, so we can get some of your feedbacks. We'll open the lines shortly. 20-year-old climate activist Phyllis Valmont from the Kaninago territory. He's your colleague. You have been around him for how long?
Well, 2 years now.
So you were employed by the superstation, the big station at the same time.
No, well, I actually been working on Q for like what, going on 8 years now.
But officially, 2 years you have
Yeah,
known him.
2 years
You have
now.
known him
Yeah.
for 2 years now. Okay, great. And your impression of your colleague?
Well, to be honest, if you're Wadix, I see him as a role model
Mhm.
because he's very focused and like somebody that knows what he wants and whatever and stuff. Like even for me, like sometimes I would ask him like some, like thought provoking questions, like just so we can start a debate and stuff. Then, he would tell me certain things like I need to kind of step out my comfort zone. Yeah, he tell me,
And
yeah,
possibly educate yourself into some certain areas.
yeah. Like
Mhm.
before I was kind of like more or less shy in a way.
Yeah.
But he
Opened you up
kind
and
of, like,
motivating you.
yeah, yeah.
So to you, he's a very positive
Positive,
influence
yeah, definitely.
in that direction, which allowing you to be more career oriented, to really educate yourself, get yourself to a better level.
Yeah, definitely.
So a positive influence for you.
Yes.
And despite the fact that you're older than him.
Right. Well, I mean, they say it's
Age
it's
right.
never too late to learn. So
Okay. You, Ferguson, back to you. We are also part of the climate champions team. Tell us about that. And this is a high level, I mean, team, and influencing your understanding and interaction between climate resilience and social equity.
Mhm.
But then, first of all, give us an idea of the team, your participation. What is the team? Give us some more information on that, and tell us this is a high level how the team influence your understanding of the reality between climate resilience and social equity.
Okay, perfect. So the Climate Champions team is a large, very large Wadix. I'm talking about logistics, technical persons who has their PhD and masters and maybe two PhDs. But
I know.
and every year we host they host the conference of parties. Last year it was in Dubai. This year it will be happening in Azerbaijan. And every year a president, CEO, the person who takes in charge of hosting the various COPs appoints a climate champion. And last year's climate champion and this year's climate champion, the team is assisting them in building real world momentum and really consider sort of building resilience in 4 billion people. So that's basically the agenda. And for me, I was appointed in July 1st, I believe. It's
Mhm.
been a rigorous process from since the time I was selected, and I really got some great recommendations from great persons. I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity if it wasn't for these persons who provided or were able to be my references. And this is all due to Miss Duran again. She's been a great help in that opportunity. And of course, we have Miss Natasha Green. And of course, a huge thank you to the president, Her Excellency Mrs. Silvani Burton, of
Mhm,
course.
mhm,
So
mhm.
these persons continue to really play an influential role in my life as I continue my journey. And this year, my focus will be on the Race to Resilience campaign, which is the aim of building resilience in 4 billion people worldwide by 2030. And my focus will be on the inclusion aspect. That includes the inclusion of women, youth, men, indigenous peoples into really highlighting the work that they continue to do in building resilience within their own spaces. So it's been a great experience. Well, one that is challenging, but I've overcome the challenges, of course, because who would have thought that I've understand all these technicals and huge words and really understanding. And so far I've been really, really good. Who would have thought that I'd be updating database on organizations worldwide and really reaching out to them via email? So the team has been really, really great, and I'm of course looking forward to working with them until December this year.
I mean, this is excellent stuff. What are some of your challenges in actually keeping focused on your goals, on your career, your dreams, your aspirations? You're still young, 20, but what are some of the challenges you actually face?
Yeah, I think it would be really sometimes I consider myself to be a perfectionist, which may be a weakness to some point. I can be controlling at times because I'm really hard on my deadlines. So when I'm working in a team and you're not as advanced as I am and really want to get things done, I am going to get angry and I'm going to take over the work. To be honest, Wadix.
You're a perfectionist. You need to get this done.
Yes.
And if whoever is assigned to actually deliver, they can't
Mm-hmm.
deliver in a timely manner, you take over.
Yes, and I'm going to give you an example that as part of my work plan for this, being engaged in the Climate Champions team, I have assignments that I have to complete from now till December, and I got that completed in like 2 days. So this is what I'm talking about. I need people to be as really quick as I am because I have a goal, which is to really get what I'm getting done, and that's it. And then at the end of the day, I know that I have that done. But to me, it's like in the future, I hope to really go into more the environmental area. To be honest, my first goal was really going into law, and I realized that law isn't for me for some reason. And I really, really wanted to go somewhere where I'm passionate because someone said, if you're passionate about an area, it will never feel like hard work to you. And that's how I want it.
I can confess to that.
Yeah.
I can confess.
So this is where I want to go into the field of environment. I want to go into the field of young persons, of course, and basically, trying to maintain focus within all what's going on. For me, it's like I'm a workaholic. Not afraid to say that. For example, if I'm at home over the weekend, I don't like public holidays because that means that I have to sit at my home and not do anything. So I'm working constantly. Even I'm at work right now, I'm finding something for me to do when on my free time. So this is basically me. To be honest, person maybe say that you need to really chillax. So, be a young person. But I honestly don't have time for that.
I understand. By the way, the lines are now open. You could call and interact with our special guest. By the way, we are in with 20-year-old Fedderson Valmont, and he's a certified journalist. He works here at the big station. He's also a public relation consultant with a strong passion for climate change and youth development. You have traveled far and wide. I mean, extensively. I've gotten several invitations to speak on several international platforms. Tell us about this.
Yes. So, like I said, last year I was in Dubai. Earlier this year, a couple months ago, I was in Abu Dhabi at the Irina Youth Assembly, speaking about renewable energy and young persons' involvement in that area. And just recently, which was yesterday, I was engaged with an online organization speaking about indigenous people's involvement and young people's involvement in the climate crisis, as well as how we can ensure that the rights of young persons, of course, are maintained when they continue to protest and advocate for a clean, safe, and healthy environment. So these are the few places I also recently, well, last year I believe, and the year before, served as a youth advisor to the United Nations
Yeah, just,
Resident
just hold a
Coordinator.
second for we'll get back to your travels and some of the uh, international meetings that you have participated in. Well, we have our first caller. Good morning. You're
Good
on to,
morning, Wadik.
good morning,
Good
my
morning
dear.
to the young man.
Good morning.
Fedderson
Wadik,
Valmont.
I'm listening to this young man, and you can hear his level of intelligence
Yes.
is way above.
The
And you
normal
can see
20-year-old.
probably, yes, he does a lot of reading, it looks like.
Yes.
For a 20-year-old, and Wadik, I've been listening to him. I don't know the young, but I've been listening to him on 295 when he have those programs on those entrepreneurs and whatever. And the way he speaks, man, Wadik. The questions he asked. I didn't know he was that young. I thought it was somebody older.
Yes.
The way he asked the questions, and you can see, well, as though he know his onions. He know what he's talking about. And he's talking there to you, Wadix. Digging.
No.
He's just speaking fluently, man. As you ask the questions, he's answering. Young man, I love to hear you. Just keep on going, and probably if you have a few more young people like you,
Yeah.
I think a lot will happen. But I think God gave him a special talent.
Yes, I agree.
Because I just find for that age group,
Yes.
he's way above man, Wadi.
I agree 100%. Thanks a lot, caller, and
Thank
may
you so
God
much.
continue to richly bless you well. You getting the compliments. Give them the numbers, DJ Shan, so that they can participate in our discussion here.
All right, the numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257, and if you're calling from overseas, 305-432-9624.
20-year-old climate activist. Tell us some of your. We were on the area of some of your major activities and some of the events. We have more calls coming in. Okay, good morning to you.
Yes, Wadi, you have more calls come.
Like I've heard.
I just want to compliment my boss. On the very first time I saw him about 2 years ago at Kim, I kind of like him.
Yes.
He had some calm shines to him. My boy, the sky is the limit. I just want to come to congratulate you on your achievement. Please don't let nobody push you into going into politics and tell you you're doing this and you're doing that. Keep your head above water and don't do that next thing. Take that from me, eh?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Blue Blue. More calls. So, Fedderson Valmore from the Kalinago territory. Good morning to your Creole Heartbeat.
Your Excellency, good morning to you, good morning to your guests, and good morning to your listeners. I am so proud of this young man, and I am sure the Kalinago territory must be proud of this man. His family must be proud of him, his colleagues, his workplaces. I am proud of him because he's a Dominican and he will go places. I think he would have been, I just pray God's blessing for good health, for long life, for peace, joy, and harmony. And I think he would have been a good ambassador to represent Dominica. He has what it takes. And I'm looking forward in the not too distant future when I will see this man in Parliament, so he can raise the eyebrow because I see him as an honorable person. The way he speaks, the way he carries himself, he does have what it takes to represent the Commonwealth of Dominica. Take a bow, young man, and I'm proud of you. And I'm hoping and the young people are listening and can take a page from his book. I'm really proud of you. Your parents must be proud. I am proud. The Commonwealth of Dominica proud of you. Take a bow and God bless.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Caller, and have a wonderful weekend. And we continue to share the moment with Ferguson Valmont. He's a special certified journalist here at the big station Q95 FM. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat.
Morning, Ronnie.
Good morning to you, and how are you?
Okay.
We have Ferguson Valmont
Yes.
with us.
I'm fond of listening to that young man.
Yes. Not sure what happened. We seem to have lost that caller. Let's take another caller. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat. Do we have that caller? Let's see if we have this one. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat.
Good morning to you, Ambassador Charles.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
And not bad, not bad. And good morning to Ferguson Valmont and DJ Shan.
Good morning, sir.
I'm listening to the conversation, and it is very uplifting. To be wise for people to listen to it, and how Ferguson is presenting himself to give people some kind of guide as to how you present yourself as a young person and even as an older person, in order to bring out the information and to educate people. I met Ferguson Valmont probably 2 years ago. We were doing an outside broadcast, Q95, at the World Creole Music Festival, and I met him there for the first time. And I find he's very serious about what he does. He takes his work seriously, and he's focused as to what he wants to achieve and what he wants to do. And I think as a young man to be focused in climate change and this kind of activities are very, very important because as was said earlier on, a lot of young persons, may have good intention, but they get a little sidetracked with other things. But his focus and so on what he wants done. And all this travel he has done, I mean, he's shown that when he go places, he creates an impression. And in that case, he has been invited to continue to be present and to represent. And I want to wish him well and say to him, the sky's the limit. He's just 20, and I'm 20 years old. Once you continue to stay focused, do the work you have to do, be honest, be sincere about what you do, respect yourself and others, then you can go very, very far. And I want to wish him well. And what it's for you, I want to say that you have been doing a fantastic job in bringing this very, very important information to the listening public, because we need to know what we're doing, because it makes no sense. We have good people who are doing good things, and when they pass, we cry and we say good things about them, and while they're alive, we don't know they're alive. And you're doing a fantastic job. Congratulations, and for this, all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller, and have a wonderful weekend. Once again, you're open to call us and give us your opinion. Give us big up Ferguson, man. 20-year-old eloquence. I mean, this guy is brilliant. To my mind, he's a genius. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat.
Good morning, Wadi.
Good morning, family. You promised you were going to call.
My favorite young man in you. One of them, because I love him. But I would have to call this man a miracle young man.
I agree.
I just cannot understand. You can remember the last time when I spoke to him, I told him I thought he was older.
Yes, you did.
When you said he was 20, it forced me to call.
Yes.
20 years old. And this young man ready to go places. Mm-hmm. Oh, my. This mother must be feeling extra proud. Young man, your mommy is alive?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
He said yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, if they were transferring children for people to just take over children as their child, I would take you in.
I like that. I love that.
For me to make a boast, oh yes. Young man, don't stop. Continue doing what you're doing. Go as high as you can. They say the sky is the limit. Do what you have to do.
Thank you.
It is a gift from God. A gift from God. And don't let nobody pull you. Keep on doing what you have to do. We love you. Take it.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
caller, pleasant weekend, and God bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, the compliments are coming in fast and furious, but I want you to actually bring us abreast to some of your travels and some of the conventions that you have represented, both the Kalinago people and Dominica by general and in general.
So my first conference I attended was actually last year, October, where I was selected to attend the United Nations Indigenous Peoples Forum in Italy. And surprisingly, I was the only person from the Caribbean region and the only indigenous youth from the Caribbean. And it was a great experience to me, really meeting a lot of culture. I really, well, in terms of food, I love food. So I ate my first deer meat on that day. So that, of course, is an accomplishment. But one of the issues really continue to face in these spaces in terms of language barrier, because I'm from the Caribbean, they automatically team me up with the indigenous groups from Latin America, and I don't speak Spanish, so it was a hard time really understanding and really contributing to the conversation. But there were really good logistics in place, I guess, in terms of providing a translator for me to really engage. So, of course, this has been it was a great opportunity. And COP28 in Dubai last year, earlier, well, a couple months
Just
before I went
hold
to
your
Abu
foot on
Dhabi.
Cup Dubai, and let's just take the caller. Good morning to you, Fedderson Valmon, on the big station.
Pleasant day to you all.
Good morning.
Edison, I am so proud of you. I am there actually looking at your Nordics in studio. And all I can say is that I am proud. This is what you call holistic development of a young individual. I'm going to be there for you. Whenever you need me, you know how to get me. WhatsApp, Facebook, you call me. I will be there for you. I am just so proud of you. And I'm just hoping that other young persons, especially in the Eastern District, can look up to you as their role model. We're going to have another chat. You talking to Alex today, giving me ideas of stuff that we can do together in Eastern District. I am just so proud of you. And Wadix, I want to say God will bless you for giving Ferguson the opportunity to speak to and with our young people and, of course, Dominica on a whole. Ferguson, the sky's the limit. 20, think of you have all these years to go still, and what you can or have become already, and what I know you can do for us in the Eastern District and, of course, Dominica. Thank you for this opportunity, Alex.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you so much,
and hope
Chris.
that Pete Sufre is okay.
Oh, the East is under a lot of rain.
Oh,
We having a lot of rain.
we have some in the city also, but Uja Connect, no anta cyclone, no anta tapet. Pleasant
Listen
weekend,
to
my
Paris.
dear.
As Ferguson say, we are resilient people, so we know how to bounce back quickly.
Absolutely. And have a pleasant weekend, my dear. Cop Dubai.
COP28
Bye.
in Dubai. Yes. So out of 11,000 applications that was received, only 100 could be selected. And I was one of the 100s that was selected. We also engaged in climate negotiation capacity building by the Harvard Public School of Negotiations. And we received that training upon heading to COP. And at COP, we really followed a lot of sessions and negotiations. And I was really selected to be a spokesperson for the Children's and Youth Pavilion at that event. And really, I spoke to a lot of international news agencies as to what is going on at COP, and also my perspective on the climate crisis. A lot of persons, if you've been following my journey on Facebook, you see that I have been posting a lot about the places that I've been to, etc. And a couple months ago, I was actually back in the UAE in Abu Dhabi as part of my engagement in the IRENA Youth Assembly, where we really touched on the area of renewable energy and young people's involvement in that aspect, and why is it important, or how can we get young persons involved in renewable energy, or what employment opportunities are provided when countries decide to move away from the use of fossil fuels to more like renewable energy, geothermal, solar, wind, etc. So, this has been a great opportunity. I believe I was the only indigenous youth representing at that conference right there. And I am currently getting ready to leave Dominica this month. I will be engaged in the International Youth Conference on Biodiversity happening all the way in Japan. So I'm really excited for that opportunity. I will also assist the organizers in terms of the hosting of various events. I will also help the planners and the host with that activity as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to really going up there and representing my people and of course Dominica by extension.
Okay, more calls coming in for Fedderson Valmore. This is Creole Heartbeat. Good morning.
What it's me again? One final thing I want to say.
No
I
problem.
think probably they can use him to go to the schools to talk to the young people about climate change. I think that would be very good. Thank you.
I agree 100%. What do you think, Fedderson?
Definitely. I mean, September, don't want to get the cat out of the bag, but September, I'm also starting on my Educate Yourself movement, where I'll be visiting the various educational institutions and really engaging with a lot of young persons, really raising awareness as to the importance of reduce, reuse, of course, reclaim and recycle, of course, the importance of reusing and really limiting or really decreasing your carbon footprint on the environment.
Absolutely. You have been very supportive by the management of Q95 who allow you normally to go on those various missions and represent Dominica. What is the relationship like with the management of QFM?
Yes. So when I started off at Q, I knew that Mr. Gregoire was really someone who continued to support and provide spaces for development, as well as the staff, of course, has been a huge support system for me personally. I believe that when I come from my home family, I come to Q and I meet my work family, of course, and this has always been persons who continue to support me and say, push me forward and say, if you got an opportunity, you need to embrace it. And of course, Mr. Gregoire have been someone who constantly kicks up and really checks in on me and provides me the opportunity to really go out there and continue my work. I believe one thing he said that was, while you're working here, I also want to provide you with an opportunity for you to develop yourself as an individual. And this is something that I continue to tell everyone about working there, the opportunity to develop myself. Because where else would you go and you got the opportunity to leave for 2 weeks on island out of work and still come back and end up getting a salary?
I brought it up mainly because when I told him that I was going to interview, he was so excited. He was just so overjoyed, and even showing himself up because when I brought you the last time, we said, no, 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 no. We need to give you a full hour like everybody else. I said that was in the works, and I'm really happy that we eventually got it. But you also do, apart from doing your news and your journalism stuff, you also host Nature Island Small Business Buzz. Tell us a little about that and the whole mission, the journey with that particular program.
Yes. So, well, if we really look at the area of self development and empowerment, this program has assisted me with that. I mean, I have anxiety, and I'm not scared to say that. I get scared every before an interview, even hosting a program. And when I started the Nature ILO, when Mr. Gregor provided me with the opportunity to really host this program, it was something I really questioned a couple times in terms of, am I really ready or prepared? I mean, we're human beings, and we have these things called imposter syndrome, where we constantly keep on asking ourselves, are we really worth where we are right now? And this is something that, yes, I do have these voices in my head now and then that I'm not worth taking up these spaces, or, who are you for you to be embracing all these positions, or who are you to really, who be programs and talking to a lot of persons. But for me, ever since I started with this program, I've met a lot of persons who have had their share of challenges in terms of being in the social spaces, and I've learned a lot. I've understand the economic landscape in Dominica, as well as the importance why a lot of young persons really moving towards being their own bosses. And this is something I really really embrace, because majority of guests we have had on the program would be a lot of young persons, and this got me really excited because I'm passionate about when young persons really empower themselves, really be creative. And this is what we've continued to see on that program. Hopefully we will be back real soon, fingers crossed, we'll be back on air, and can't wait to have all our listeners and viewers, constant viewers on board.
In one of our conversations, you remarked to me that quite a bit of the people in that particular industry, small business, a female.
Yes.
And to you, that was a concern because you were wondering what's going on with the male.
Yes, I mean, at the same time, we're trying to address the issue of gender inequality that exists. Yes, it exists where men are sometimes given more attention than women, and when women fall aside, then we go to give men attention, and when we give men attention, women fall on the sidelines, etc. So for me, we need to really embrace both genders. We need to really see a society or country as a whole whereas women are treated equally than men. And it's something that we see from our homes that men are given more advantage than the girls. Boys can do more things and girls can do less things. So it needs to start from the home addicts. Addressing the issue of gender inequality needs to start from this foundation. In our workplaces, these things need to happen. Everywhere needs to happen. So even women being breadwinners, it's something, well, even saying it out loud, it feels weird, to be honest. Because who would have thought that women being their own bosses or women being the breadwinners in the house? Oftentimes it would be men. So in Dominica, we continue to see that narrative change. We see a lot of women really being their own bosses, being entrepreneurs, etc. And it's enlightening to me personally when we see women in these spaces. But at the same time, it raises the questions as to how are we as a society embracing our men as much as we embrace our women? What spaces or mechanisms can be put in place to really ensure that they are given the equal opportunities, the equal training, etc., that they will be able to enter these spaces and have an equal say? So really, the question still lingers on in our heads and in society.
Let's take in a few more calls. Ferguson Valmont, good morning. Creole Habit.
Because it's me again.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice every time he goes out and do what he has to do. When he comes back, you interview him.
No problem. I'm keeping close to him.
And let me thank you for the good work you are doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear. And may God bless you also. We were just speaking about women, and you now have Kalinago Obutu.
Yes,
that's a female. How do you feel about that? And what do you think are chances?
Well, first of all, we need to say a huge congratulations. We should have, said that from the beginning. So, firstly,
save the best for last.
Definitely, Wadix, of course. So, congratulations to our newly elected Kalinago chief, Mrs. Annette Thomas Sanford. Of course, this speaks volume, Wadix. We have our first female president, head of state, and now we have our first Kalinago chief. So really, the question that lingers in our head, are we embracing women into leadership positions, really, moves away than more than we expected it to by just being elected to that position. So it also really puts a call out there that we need to really embrace or empower our women to take on leadership positions. And like I said, I consider myself a feminist because I work with a lot of women-led organizations and women that leadership positions. So it's something that I'm really happy, and of course I do look forward to working closely with her in the area of climate change, like I said, climate change and youth empowerment, and of course other areas where needed.
Does it weaken the status of the Kalinago Obutu chief?
What
I mean, because we know throughout the centuries, it has always been a man. Was there ever a woman in the history of the Kalinago territory?
Well, last time I heard was way back in the late centuries.
Late centuries.
Not
in the 19th, not the 20th century,
the
21st.
Yeah. So it's always been men. And it was disappointing, actually. And I'm going to say it. It was disappointing that during their campaign, that one of the candidates said they shouldn't vote a woman to the position.
Wow.
It was hurtful to me as a male, and it was actually hurtful and offensive to a lot of women who continue to embrace leadership positions or fight for them to really have their voices heard or be recognized that they have the capabilities to be leaders. So for me, yes, it's different, but at the same time, we don't know if we'll like it unless we have experienced it. And I believe, well, from my personal opinion, that women lead better than men do. They are great leaders, Wadiks, and this is something that we really need to embrace. And of course, we are looking forward to Miss Sanford really transforming the Kalinago territory. I know she has some great areas that she have really touched on, and of course, I do look forward to the other candidates who didn't, win the election to really work, join their mandates or areas that they wanted to look at if they were elected, and join that with Miss Sanford to really, unity, the entire unity. We need to embrace that in order to have a future, brighter future, not only for the present but future generations as well.
Absolutely. And finally, because we know we have to stop for the news major, any aspirations, any dreams, any visions of being the first Kalinago Prime Minister? You have DJ Shan smiling.
I think a lot of persons encouraged me to not get into politics in the future, but this is an area, maybe not. Yes, maybe not.
But honestly, I really want to, continue to support you in whatever you're doing. Pledging my full support live on the big station. That whenever you need any assistance in anything, you could feel free to call on me. I'm extremely happy that you have that family background at the Q95. Home and away from home is also that support that he allows you, Mr. G allows you to go and do several conferences without any hindrances. Other areas, it's a different matter. I want to continue to, big you up on what you have achieved so far. The sky's the limit. The avenues are open for you, and I just really hope that the we as a people will acknowledge what you have done for us and continue to embrace you and love you and show you appreciation. So, with all that said, you want to take a final call? Yeah, man. We the same family. Let's take our last call for the Ferguson Valmont. Good morning. Creole Heartbeat.
Hey, morning, Wadik.
Good morning. Quickly, because we are running out of time, we have to get set for the news.
Wadik, I
Yes.
just want to thank you for your contribution you are making for Dominica. What would be Dominica without Wadik, without the history of his people?
Thank you very much,
And I
my
want
brother.
to congratulate the young man, Mr.
Yeah.
Valmore.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would like him to do a few projects. I'm from the North, Marigot.
Yes.
I would want him to continue a few projects. I've done a project on that Debrush River, which is bogging with the indigenous people and the Negroes, which is in Debrush.
Yes.
It was the fishery waterfalls,
Yes.
and I would like him to do something for the indigenous people in the roads. Though he need to set up a program for them, like along the river, like you see, like the promenade,
Yeah.
or in the garden, so that the indigenous people can come and sell their craft and the visitors can be closer to them. Because most visitors come here, they're not going to the reserve. So these are the two
Yeah.
projects. My name is Ronnie.
Yes.
And Wadik, thank you again for your contribution to Dominica.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and God bless you, my brother.
All right, Wadik.
Final words are yours, my brother, because you yourself and me may have to turn around and come at the console for the news. But the support has been tremendous, and I really want to thank Mr. Gregor for allowing you and to excel, to explore, giving you the latitude. And like you said, the support has been tremendous. Final words, Fedderson, and just want to remind you live on air that you have my full support, unconditional support.
Thank you so much, Wadix. And of course, I just want to say a huge thank you to my Kalinago people and Dominica by extension. You guys continue to support me in every single way possible. There are persons who constantly continue to encourage me to push forward, of course. A huge thank you to Dana Grano, of course. I know I've always seen Din's the wrong tongue. So, of course, these various persons, especially, really define the importance of it takes a village to raise a child. And of course, I'm really grateful for that opportunity. Thank you to Q95. Thank you to the rest of Dominicans. You guys don't know me, but you continue to support me. And Wadix, thank you so much, of course.
Another Creole Heartbeat program. The news major comes up next on the big station Q95. That was we had a special date with Ferguson Valmore. Until next week, Prince Wadix, may God bless you and may God bless Dominica. Happy Emancipation Weekend, and deepest condolences to the family of Shemaine Green Brown. Worked with her for several years at the Nation Station, and I was actually numb for several hours last evening. God bless you, Dominica. Take it easy.
We thanking you, brother.